Good day, welcome to News Express. This hour will bring you a story that cuts to the core of governance, security, and accountability in Nigeria. As strong words from a former president reignite a national debate. Nigeria's political temperature has risen once again, following a blunt and uncompromising intervention by former President Olusegun Obasanjo, who has launched a sweeping critique of the administration of President Bola Tinubu over what he described as the worsening state of insecurity across the country. His remarks, delivered in a televised interview, has reignited national debate over governance, accountability, and the fundamental responsibility of the state to protect its citizens. At the heart of Obasanjo's intervention is a forceful argument that goes beyond routine political criticism. He questioned the very legitimacy of any government that fails to secure lives and property, framing insecurity not merely as a policy challenge but as a constitutional and moral failure that undermines the existence of the state itself. In a country already grappling with persistent violence, kidnapping, and armed attack in several regions, the former president's comment has struck a particularly sensitive chord. The government that cannot give security of life and property of its citizens has no right of existence, Obasanjo declared, in a statement that has since triggered widespread reaction across political, civil society, and public discourse spaces. The timing of this statement is significant. Nigeria is currently facing multiple layers of insecurity that cut across regional and social boundaries. In the northwest, armed banditry continues to disrupt rural life and displace communities. In the northeast, remnants of insurgent activity remain a persistent threat despite years of military operations. In the north-central region, communal clashes and farmer-herders conflict has contributed to instability. Meanwhile, cases of kidnapping for ransom has spread across highways and even urban corridors, creating a pervasive sense of vulnerability among citizens. Against this backdrop, Obasanjo's remarks has been interpreted by many as both a reflection of public frustration and a direct challenge to the federal government's security strategy. His language, however, went beyond critiques of operational shortcomings by stating that the government failing in their core duty of protection loses their right to existence. He elevated the discussion to the level of political philosophy and constitutional legitimacy. Beyond security, Obasanjo also turned his attention to another long-standing issue in Nigeria's governance structure: legislative remuneration. He criticized members of the National Assembly for what he described as the practice of determining their own salaries and allowances, arguing that such actions are inconsistent and constitutional provisions. According to him, the authority to fix legislative remuneration does not rest with lawmakers themselves but with the Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission. He stressed that the current arrangement reflects a structural distortion that undermines accountability and weakens public trust in democratic institutions. This dual focus on security and governance accountability reflects a consistent theme in Obasanjo's post-presidency interventions. Over the years, he has positioned himself as a vocal commentator on Nigeria's political direction, frequently weighing in on issues of leadership, institutional integrity, and national development. His latest remarks, therefore, fit into a broader pattern of public engagement that continues to shape national discourse long after his tenure in office ended. However, what makes this particular intervention especially significant is the timing and tone. Coming at a moment when Tinubu administration is facing mounting pressure over security challenges, economic difficulties, and public expectations, Obasanjo's statement has added considerable political weight, to existing criticisms. Reactions has been swift and sharply divided. Supporters of Obasanjo's position argue that his assessment reflects the live reality of many Nigerians who continue to experience insecurity in different forms. For them, the former president is simply articulating what millions of citizens already feel, that the state's capacity to protect lives remains inadequate and inconsistent. They point to recurring incidents of mass adoptions, attacks on villages, and highway kidnappings as evidence that the security architecture requires urgent reform. In his interpretation, Obasanjo is not merely criticizing a sitting government but highlighting a systemic failure that has persisted across multiple administrations. On the other hand, critics caution against what they describe as overly harsh rhetoric from former leaders. They argue that while insecurity remains a serious concern, framing the situation as a question of governmental existence risks inflaming political tension without necessarily contributing to constructive solutions. According to this view, Nigeria's security challenges are complex, rooted in economic, social, and historical factors that cannot be resolved through sweeping declarations alone. Within government circles, responses has been more measured, but the implications are significant. The Tinubu administration is now confronted not only with the operational challenge of addressing insecurity, but also with managing the political narrative being shaped by influential figures such as Obasanjo. In a political environment where perception often shapes legitimacy, such interventions can carry substantial weight. Security remains one of the most pressing issues facing Nigeria today. Despite ongoing reforms, military deployments, and interagency coordination efforts, the scale and persistence of violence in certain regions continue to raise concerns. Analysts note that while progress has been made in some areas, the adaptability of armed groups and the complexity of local dynamics has made lasting solutions difficult to achieve. It is within this context that Obasanjo's comments gain added resonance. By framing insecurity as a matter of existential governance failure, he is effectively placing pressure on the administration to demonstrate visible and sustained improvements in security outcomes. Beyond the immediate political implications, his remarks also touch on a deeper constitutional debate about the nature of governance in Nigeria. What exactly constitutes the legitimacy of a government? Is it driven solely from electoral mandate, or does it depend on performance in core areas such as security, welfare, and economic stability? Obasanjo's position clearly leans towards the latter interpretation, suggesting that legitimacy must be continuously earned through effective governance. This perspective is not without controversy. Some legal and political analysts argue that while performance is crucial, it should not be used as a basis to question the existence of an elected government. They warn that such framing can open the door to destabilizing narratives in an already fragile political environment. Nevertheless, Obasanjo's intervention reflects a broader frustration that extends beyond partisan lines. Across Nigeria, public concern over security has remained consistently high, with citizens in both urban and rural areas expressing anxiety about safety and state capacity. This widespread concern forms the backdrop against which his comments are being interpreted. In addition to security, his criticism of legislative remuneration touches on another long-standing issue in Nigerian governance: institutional transparency and accountability. Over the years, The cost of governance and the earnings of public officials has remained contentious topics, often generating public debate and calls for reform. Obasanjo's remarks therefore tap into an existing reservoir of public sentiment regarding elite privilege and fiscal responsibility. As Nigeria continues to navigate the current political and security challenges, such interventions are likely to play a significant role in shaping public discourse. Former leaders, particularly those with Obasanjo's stature, often influence not only opinion but also the framing of national debates. For the Tinubu administration, the challenge now is twofold. It must continue to address immediate security threats while also responding to the broader narrative questions being raised by influential voices in the political space. This includes demonstrating measurable progress in stabilizing affected regions and strengthening institutional responses to insecurity. At the same time, it must manage the political implications of such high-profile criticism without allowing it to overshadow ongoing policy efforts. In a democratic environment, this balance between governance and perception is often as important as operational success itself. As the country moves forward, Obasanjo's remarks are likely to remain part of the national conversation, especially as Nigeria edges closer to another election cycle. Security, governance, and institutional accountability are expected to dominate political debates, and interventions from figures of his stature will continue to shape how these issues are understood and discussed. For now, what is clear is that his statement has once again placed Nigeria's most pressing challenge at the center of national attention. Whether it leads to policy recalibration, political confrontation, or broader reform discussions will depend on how both government and society respond in the months ahead. For more updates and in-depth analysis, stay with News Express. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and join the conversation in the comments section. I am Cassie Tony. Many thanks for watching. Bye for now.